Hey, what's up, and welcome to the How We Get Fit podcast.
Yeah.
This is a show where we interview awesome people to help you get fit.
Yes.
In this episode, we have
Brittni Torres. Whoop, whoop.
Go get her. See, I'm a go getter. If you's a go getter, why don't
She has a bachelor's degree in interdisciplinary studies with a focus on youth and fitness, which I find very interesting, and we have questions about that. A master's degree in education, which I did not know. She was Miss Kahala 2011, second runner-up at Miss Hawaii. Miss Oahu 2013, first runner-up at Miss Hawaii. You've done a few pageants, Brittni, and also some modeling I found on Google search engine. Koi Boutique, I found them. And she also has a business called Saved Love. She is a mama of a toddler, and she's been married for 3.5 years to our friend Rafi, who was on the show before. And he kept his word. He said Brittni was going to come on, and here you are.
Yes, thank you so much for being on the show, Brittni.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. What an honor to talk about life with you guys.
Yeah, I know. We are going to talk all about you, and we're very excited.
Yeah.
And I just want you to know that Rafi's bio was so much shorter than yours. It was basically, this is Rafi.
And I love
he's married to
such
Brittni.
a big bio like that. I mean, you've done so many things, and we're gonna get into that.
Yes.
But before we get into that, Rafi had said something about you, and we wanted to see if it was true. He said that you what is it? You work out to pig out?
She works out to pig out. How true.
I probably should make a shirt. It's totally true. I think that you should be rewarded for all your hard work.
Absolutely. I love this
like
because you two have such different views
Oh,
on
different.
fitness. So I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start off with this question. What is fitness to you?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I think that fitness is really about being well-rounded.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not just, I think people get really caught up in weight. And
Correct.
when I did Miss Hawaii, that was like the first time I went from being really athletic in volleyball to Miss Hawaii, which is not really about being athletic. It was about being toned. And I had no idea what that meant, because when I played volleyball, I was like, I want to be big, strong, quick. And I was like, took pride in like lifting with the football boys. Like, that was, I was like,
Right.
I can lift you guys, I can bench with you, I can squat. Like, I was all about squatting more than them. And then Miss Hawaii was completely opposite. And what it really taught me was how mental being fit is.
Yeah.
You know, it's really mental,
Right.
emotional, spiritual. It's everything and physical. You know,
Right.
so to me, to be
Right.
fit is to be just well balanced in every area. Because
You're hitting
you can,
all the targets.
yeah, because you can work out all day, eat right, but still be really like unhappy and not, you know, satisfied with what's happening in your body. So to me, you're not fit in that sense because you're still unhappy. So I think having all the areas covered and your purpose for why you're working out, to be specific, then you're fit. Like, I'm
That's
fit, even
true.
though my pants don't fit all the time, you know? I'm fit.
I'm fit if my clothes don't fit. I think that should also.
Just because my pants don't fit doesn't mean I'm not fit.
No, that's
Just get a
really
bigger
true.
size.
They come in other sizes. You just buy new pants.
No, that's really
It's
funny.
Thanksgiving week.
It
Get
is.
stretchy pants.
Get
Stretchy
the
Thanksgiving
sweatpants.
pants. Yep.
Sweatpants.
Yep,
Elastic
sweatpants.
waist, a dress. A loose
Yeah,
dress.
there you go. A dress.
So you don't even have to put pants on. And then
There you
you're
go.
done.
Yeah.
And I did forget to mention in your bio that you did volleyball. So was activity, like being active, sports, was that just a way of life for you since you were a child? Have you always kind of been an active person?
Yeah, you know, I grew up with 3 brothers.
Aha.
So I don't remember a time where it wasn't a choice. Like, it was always like, and then we
just
grew up
had to
in
do it.
Mililani, and
Okay.
I don't know if everyone knows, but Mililani means you're going to play soccer.
Oh.
Every kid who grows up in Mililani, you're going to play soccer. I hated soccer. I don't run, you guys.
It's
Way
all
too much
running. You
All
run
running.
and run. And
Yeah.
run. I can't even
I
watch
knew by
it.
the time I was 5, this is not the sport for me. Stop making me come here. I would cry at every game. Please let me go home. So I
so
grew up
funny.
in sports. Mostly, I played soccer when I was really little, and then I got into volleyball. And my brothers and I are super blessed. My parents put us all through club sports, tournaments. They paid for us to do anything and everything we could to further our athletic careers. So I'm really grateful for that. I have 2 brothers who played college volleyball as well.
Wow.
And I was like so determined. I went to a small high school. I went to University Lab. People don't even know what that is. And it was small. It was like, people from Word of Life can relate because we're not scouting us. And we were
no
like,
scouts.
No scouts. So I remember I worked really hard. I made my own videos and I sent them to all the colleges. Like I scouted myself because I am going to college. I'm playing volleyball. I don't care what anyone says. So it was just something I got really passionate about in maybe middle school. And I just found a purpose in it. I just worked really hard. I think I was never like I'm not naturally athletic. I had to work really hard to get there. But yeah, growing up with my brothers, it just wasn't really an option. Like it wasn't discussed.
You just were.
We're just gonna play sport.
Right.
Yeah.
So, no, that's
I love that.
Yeah. So was that when you kind of started like fitness is a part of my life, like working out and like being healthy is a part of your life, or did you even not think
I guess
of
in
it?
high school they introduce a lot more strength and conditioning into your routine, I guess you could say, right? Kind of there's like weightlifting as an extracurricular, that kind of stuff. You start doing more training. My junior and senior year, I got really into tactical and strength training.
Okay.
And that's really what drove the rest of my like college passion of my my bachelor's. So originally I was going into kinesiology. And I went away for a year to
Explain
California.
What that is, just for the list. What is kinesiology? You just explain that.
Fancy way of saying sports medicine, I feel like.
Okay, so what do you do?
You have to do kinesiology to be a physical therapist.
Okay. Okay.
But to be a physical therapist, you have to become a doctor now, which happened when I was in school. So I originally wanted to do physical therapy. And then I was like, you have to be a doctor. Forget that. There was also no programs in Hawaii at the time that offered physical therapy as an option. So I knew I would have to stay in the mainland longer. I went to a tactical and strength conditioning here. That's what they're called, tactical and strength conditioning with Coach Barry. And they were really the only ones at that time. They like really started that, I feel like, for Hawaii. And now it's, really popular. A lot of people do it. But when I went to school in the mainland, I noticed there it was very popular because land was so much easier to get, like space.
Yes.
So people had these huge auditoriums with turf and training grounds. And here, like my training area was this little box that they could afford to rent out. And that was always my dream, to come home and help kids because there wasn't a lot of opportunity when I was growing up. And of course that has shifted over time, but kinesiology, you learn all about human anatomy, biology. It's a lot of science. It's a lot of memorization. I had to know every single body part.
Do you still know it?
No, but I'm impressed because I worked really hard to know them at the time. I don't know anything now probably, but I had to know every like ligament, bone, muscle, and I mean, you get down to it and it's like there's too many muscles.
Anatomy, physiology stuff. Right?
Yes, physiology.
EMP.
It's a lot. Yeah. So when I was only away for a year, I had hurt my knee senior year, had surgery, went away for a year, worked really hard to play still because that was my dream.
Right.
Ended up getting carried off the court because I didn't even stand during
the same
my
knee.
Pregnant coach carried me off the court. I was so embarrassed. Yeah, my same knee. So I actually came home. I had 2 more surgeries.
Oh my goodness.
On my knee. And so I decided, I'm not going to go back. Like volleyball's pretty much over for me.
Wow.
And it was hard to transfer my credits, but it kind of opened a door I lost a lot of my credits for kinesiology. And at UH, it's one of the longest programs that they have. And I was like, I am not about to stay here for like so many years pursuing this. Like, this is crazy. So I met up with a counselor, went into interdisciplinary studies, which to me it was such a blessing, such an open door, because I got to create my own bachelor's degree, which I don't think people really know about.
I've never heard of
sit down
that.
with a counselor. It's awesome. You just tell them what you want to do and you map it out, and you just kind of look for courses and you defend what each one has to do with what you want to study. Then they help you map it out to equal the degree that you want. And it still qualifies. It's still my bachelor's. I still got it. So it was really awesome because I got to take a lot more like psychology related things for youth. And then I got to do more anatomy specific to the youth and really understanding like when they should work out, at what age, how far should they push it, that kind of stuff. So it was really interesting. Not as broad as just doing kinesiology, which is, for everyone, and more of a sciencey thing rather than what I really wanted to do at the time, which was just focus on middle and high schoolers and giving them more opportunity. Everyone wants to leave the rock, right? So I just wanted to help people leave the rock on a scholarship, but life had other plans for me.
How in the world did you get into pageants? Like, when did that? Because you sound like, it's like, when is she doing all of this at the same time?
Pageants is so left field. You don't know. My family, the day I told them I was going to run for Miss Hawaii, all of them were like, what?
Come again.
My friends, like every single person I told questioned me, like, you're doing what? Why? And
why? Like, what? Yeah.
What had happened was, because I
have a lot of the what had happened.
Because you guys, my mom knows I always say never, because God takes your never, and he's like, doing it. Like everything I've said never has happened in my life, so I can't say it anymore because I don't want a lot of these things to happen. I learned about the Miss Hawaii program, which is really the Miss America program, that you have to have a platform to run. A platform meaning something you're passionate about, something you want to do in your community. And that really intrigued me, that part of it, the community aspect of it. That's really why I did it, because I felt really passionate about the fact that it forces you to get into your community and make a difference. And that's when I came up with my platform. It originally was called Teaching or Educating the Youth on Abstinence. That was my original platform. And I just had such a conviction. And this was really in a time where I was really finding my relationship with God and really getting planted. Like I had been at Word of Life for a few years, but I was really getting planted at that time and really trying to follow what he wanted me to do. And it's something that even when I didn't know God, I was very set on being abstinent. So it was something I felt really passionate about. And I really liked that the program supported having a purpose in your community. And so that was how I started. And I worked at 24 Hour Fitness. Which
you worked at 24 Hour 20? You worked there?
Yes, for a long time.
What did you do?
I worked at the front desk.
I need a timeline of your life because I
did that while I was still in college. Awesome. I know. I'm only 30.
When you were,
I was busy.
Yeah.
So when I moved home from California, I started working at 24 Hour Fitness and going to UH. So I never really did like the college experience. I didn't dorm. I didn't like party all that hard. I mean, that was more of my 24-hour fitness life than my college life. But I just went to school, went to work, and just worked really hard because I didn't want to be in school forever. So I didn't take any breaks. I went through winter session, summer session. Like I didn't stop until I graduated. I took no breaks. And I worked at 24 Hour Fitness to semi-pay the bills. I had moved out with a roommate, and I was just trying to do what I thought adults should do. I don't know. So I worked at 24. I don't even know how that happened. I worked there for a long time, but it had a lot to do with my pageant career because a lot of pageant girls come through there, right? The trainers train them. There's a lot of influence. And so I trained with Shane Lyman there, and I credit my whole fitness journey to him 100%. I gained a lot of weight my freshman year. Like I said, I used to go hard for the weights, right? But then I didn't understand like the balance of it. So I would go really hard, and then I had no sense of diet. So when I had my knee surgeries, I just kept eating the way I ate, and I didn't understand how to be healthy. Like I had no concept of it because when I was training for volleyball, I was burning enough calories most of the time.
And now
so
you're
even when I was like,
injured.
oh, I'm just gonna Yeah, so then I got injured, and then I was like, well, I'm going to work out again. But my idea of working out was like weight training to play volleyball. But I was missing the cardio. I was missing the playing volleyball.
Oh, so you didn't do any cardio when you were weight training?
No. Not really. And after my knee surgeries, I really struggled with cardio in general.
Right.
So that was another motivation. I was like, it's going to force me to really get fit and to train. I had this like desire to lose weight and train with the trainer. But then I was like, oh, we're doing this. It's like a whole nother. Like people might see skinny girl in a bikini, but y'all don't know. So, like,
take us through it. So take us through it. Like where were you? Like, how did he start with you? And what was the goal that you told him, like, and then what was the during and the end? Like, what was the full circle of it?
So I did a total of like 3 years of training, basically. From the first Miss Hawaii or the first pageant, you have to win a preliminary to get to Miss Hawaii, to the last one. I had a short break in the middle where I didn't run for a year, but I still trained so that I didn't lose a lot of it. I didn't train with the same intensity because no one wants to live like that. So it was a long 3 years, but he basically, I mean, what I loved about Shane, and I think everyone needs this person in your life, like a mentor, a trainer. He was someone that, like I said, everyone questioned me from day one when I was like, I'm going to run for Miss Hawaii. Like, my parents were straight up like, what? Like, nobody understood it. And from day one, Shane was someone that stood in my corner and got me through the darkest days. Like, I always tell Rafi, I'm like, I will credit him until the day I die. Like, he got me through the roughest days. When I had no one else, I had Shane. To just tell me, put your hat on, cry it out on the Stairmaster, and just get it done. And I'm like, okay. Like, you know, just
you need someone like that.
Yes.
You do. And I would have never made it through that first year without him. You know, my second year, a lot of people had been a lot more supportive after
you won a title.
The first year. Yeah, so they came around after that. But yeah, he was really strict, but he was always, to me, like, in a loving way, you know, like I knew he wanted the best for me. I knew he knew what he was doing. He trains a lot of bodybuilders, but he also does pageant girls. So he knew the difference and what we needed to do. And it was a lot of cardio, like, Stairmaster every day for way too long. It was like 2 hours a day.
Worse than Sakura.
Oh my gosh. Yes, worse than like, put me back on the field, coach.
So you would train for over 2 hours a day?
Oh yeah, easy. Like, I would go to the gym 2 or 3 times a day, because the Stairmaster, I would break out. You don't want to do 2 hours at once. Nobody has the sanity for that. So I would do 1 hour at a time. So I do them separately, and then you have to weight train between that. Got to get your abs in every day, you know, all of that. So I had a routine. I used to, like, in the morning, I would go do one thing, and then in the afternoon, depending on my class schedules. My second year of Miss Hawaii, I actually didn't have anything. I had graduated already, and then I had stopped working at 24, and my grandma got really sick. So she was all I was doing was taking care of her. I was the only one who really had the time. So I was just taking care of her, but it allowed me the time to focus on Miss Hawaii, which allowed me the time to do 2 or 3 days. You know, it was a lot of, it was strenuous mentally more than physically. I mean, sure, there's days I couldn't walk, like leg day. Yeah. Leg day was like a guaranteed throw up with him, like,
that's so
every
funny.
week.
That is funny.
Like, there were days where I just lay on the ground and he's like, just put your legs up and breathe. I'm like, the whole gym can see me turning pale. There were days where I mean, I give him credit because I cried a lot. I complained a lot, and he just didn't hear me. He just was like,
he tuned it out.
That's why trainers get the big bucks.
No, seriously.
But how long did it take for when you first started with him until the pageant? Like, what was that time frame?
Probably, I mean, my first the preliminary pageant, the very first one, I probably only had a couple months with him. And then from then to Miss Hawaii was a good another 7 or 8 months. So, I mean, honestly, the biggest part of it was the diet. Like, he would always know when I came in, he's like, what'd you eat?
What did he have you on a strict diet? What was he telling you?
What was the diet
it was down to, like, the measurements, you know, based on my weight, based on what he needed me to lose, was, and it, like I said, it's not always about weight, right? It was also, what did it look like, right? Was I slimming down in the right areas? How did I look in my bikini? All of that. So it was a lot of just lean protein, like your standard lean protein, veggies. I did a lot of chicken and a lot of broccoli, sweet potato. I did learn that brown rice and white rice didn't matter. Like, it was just, you could eat either one. They were like worth the same calorie count or something like that. So I did white rice and I don't feel bad about it, but
I have no regrets.
Not a lot of it. I have no regrets about that, but I
did you get
go
cheat
through
days?
a phase. Not really. I mean, I did, but not.
You weren't supposed to.
I wasn't allowed to.
Wow.
But I went through a period where I wasn't dropping enough, and so he put me on only white fish.
Wow.
How did you do it?
And now I really struggle to eat fish because I'm so traumatized.
You remember?
By it.
How
because
did you?
It was every meal. I mean, you're eating like 4 to 5 small meals a day.
Every meal?
My protein, except for maybe breakfast. Breakfast, you guys,
I can't imagine eating
like
fish
put
for breakfast.
protein in like an oatmeal shake and you just chug it. Like instant coffee in your oatmeal to give it flavor. I mean, like, you convince yourself that this stuff was like so.
I don't know if I. How did you stick with it? Like, how did you stick with that?
I think it's really just deciding this is what I want. Right? Like, if your end goal, my end goal was to look a certain way on stage, to not be embarrassed. My first year at Miss Hawaii, I'm not going to lie. Like, when I look at my first year at Miss Hawaii versus my second year, there's a huge difference in my body. And it really came down to my commitment to what I was doing. My second year, I took it a lot more seriously all the way around. My interview, my fitness, just the way I handled everything about the competition, I handled it differently. And I was much more committed to him, to my trainer, and committed to myself, because I knew at the end of the day what I was capable of.
That's a good point.
You know, and it was just perseverance, you know, like I cried a lot. I had I remember sitting at Thanksgiving eating like a salad and everyone was eating and I was like,
I hate all of you.
I was just like, I was so upset. And, you know, I had to keep telling myself, like, these holidays will always come around, you know, these events, the food, it's always going to be there. But this was my one chance. And I really, I just had to make a choice. You know, every day you wake up and you choose, right? Like, even now it's a choice if I want to be fit or not, if I want to work out, if I want to be healthy.
It's
a harder choice.
It's a hard choice, but
I think
it is a choice.
Let's talk about now then.
Yes.
What is your Are you eating fish every meal right now, Brittni?
I have a really hard time with fish in general. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I love poke because I didn't eat a lot of that. I ate a lot of like.
Well, I've decided that
frozen fish because it's cheaper.
I think I like poke because I like the sauce.
There you go.
Yeah.
I love
like
poke, but I realize it's more.
Really good.
I like the sauce that is covering the fish.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, real quick, how was the knee during all that?
Ooh.
That was the other thing, I think, with having a trainer. I didn't know how my body worked anymore. I didn't understand because the only way I knew how to work out and be fit no longer worked for my body.
Right.
And as we get older, and, you know, I don't know how different men and women are, but as we get older, it's your metabolism shifting. Like, I was gaining weight and changing, and I was like,
reminding us.
I was just like, what is happening? Like, you know, what I used to do doesn't work, and that was the other thing. My weight really affected my knee, actually. And when I started losing weight, my knee felt better.
Right.
Because I was also stronger. So he helped me to understand, you know, focusing on those leg muscles, my quad muscles, focusing on specific things and where to stretch, where to roll out. Like, my IT band was always a problem, but he really helped me to understand how to work around the injury instead of letting it really hold me back. You know, there was very few times where he's like, okay, you don't have to do that. Like, no, you can do it. Like, but I really can't, you know. And there's a few things I couldn't do. Like, my knee's really sensitive on hard surfaces. So I couldn't do certain things on the ground just because it was too sore. It was really painful. But he, you know, was having his knowledge, then he could change the workout for me. He could change the exercise so that I still worked the right muscle, still got the right thing done. And that to me made a big difference, because I would have never understood, even with my degree, like how to do that, you know, how to navigate. So having his knowledge really, really helped me in that area for sure.
Thanks, Shane.
So this was all happening while you're still in college and working at 24 Hour Fitness?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay.
The latter end of 2013, Miss Hawaii, I had graduated and I had left 24, but that was, most of it at 24.
Yeah. No, so you were, you started off high school playing volleyball, and then some injuries, moved over to pageant after that. And so once pageant was done, how was your fitness then? Like, what did you do after that?
Were you like,
I'm done.
I did my duty.
Yeah.
There is part of that. I just want to throw a fun fact. My knee doctor, when he did my second surgery, I got a really big scar because they put screws in. And he said, you're never going to be able to run for Miss Hawaii like this. And I laughed and I was like, I would never. And then, you know, I ran for Miss Hawaii and I've had people comment on my scars. They're like, cover that up with some self-tanning.
That's part of your story. Really?
That's
no, but it don't
funny.
look cute on stage.
Chicks with scars. It's cool.
I had to make sure the tanning covered it well all those times. And my dad used to tell me too all the time, because I used to get hurt a lot. He's like, you know, if you bust up your knees, you can't run for Miss Hawaii. So this is an ongoing joke in my life, and the fact that I did it is just ironic. But you know, after Miss Hawaii, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely had a moment where I was like, I'm so done. Like, I don't want to eat fish or chicken. I don't want to diet. I don't even want to work
measure
out.
nothing.
I'm not touching the Stairmaster. Like, get me out of here. I love one piece bathing suits now. Like, I'm not about it. But I will. I besides my weight or my body, I also noticed the mental side where I was like, whoa, this was like therapy for me. You know, this was my outlet.
The working out.
My version of self-care. Yeah, working out. And even though, you know, maybe not an extreme version of it that I had to do, like the dieting and stuff, like no carbs, like.
But like a normal, not pageant training.
Yes, like I had to find what it was to just have a normal, healthy life. And that was a struggle for me too, because it's kind of like when I came out of volleyball, I don't know what to do with my body or my life. I don't understand what I need. And then I did like a hardcore version of fitness, and then I was like, okay, wait, now what? Like, what's a normal? What does a normal person do?
Yeah. You know? How did you find that?
So then,
how did you find your normal?
And what was that?
I want to say I'm still finding.
That's a good answer.
And
I really think that it just came down to doing what was making me happy. So, you know, I went back to training with Shane a couple times, however it fit into my schedule. And like, you know, I knew I would hate it, but I was like, this is what's good for me though. You know, he knows what I need. He's the one person who'll push me harder than I can push myself. And he's just so knowledgeable. So actually now I'm really, really thankful. The company I work for has their own gym. They're big on health and fitness and just having a healthy, well-rounded life. So they built a gym on property for us, and we can use it at work.
Wow.
So that was always a huge benefit to me, because then I can wake up early and go before work, or I can go during my lunch break. And now as a mom, like, that's pretty much the only time I can go is my lunch break when I'm at the office, you know? So that once I started doing, every time I get back into it, I'm like, oh, you know what? Like, this is what makes me happy. Like, you know, not even just being the strongest, the fastest, the fittest. I don't even care what I look like, really. It was just the outlet. Just knowing that I can still push myself, knowing that I'm going to feel better after this, and I'm going to just be happier with my body. And knowing also, I think once you're married and you have kids, you're not really just being healthy for yourself anymore. You know, like now I'm healthy because my son's life depends on it. My husband depends on it, you know? So yeah, I think I'm still learning every day, because I think especially as a mom, it's like every day is different. You know, like COVID happened and I was like, okay, at home workouts, like.
So did you have to work out at home? I mean, like,
I did a lot of high intensity. I did a lot of HIIT workouts every day. And actually I went like a long time every day. I was so proud of myself, because I saw such a huge difference in my stamina from day one. Like day one, I was like 2 squats. Done.
Are you following like your own workout, or were you following someone else's workout?
So during COVID, Kepa Geisen, his Instagram was Kepa Fit. He started doing free at-home work. He would post every day, and that was like his give back to the community at that time. And he was someone that had trained with Shane. Like they were, they opened a gym together.
Interesting.
So I had met him through that. And so when he started doing that on social media, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it because I need this. Like, you know, I'm home all day with my toddler. I'm working from home. Like, this is what I need. So I started doing his HIIT workouts, and it took me a long time to be able to finish a workout because there were some days like I would make Rafi work out with me. He's like, this is ridiculous. I'm like,
yeah, he said in our interview that wasn't his favorite.
No, because he's all about lifting, right?
Yeah.
And so there was like
so different.
Yes, and that's how I normally am too, because I'm not about the cardio, you guys, like really. So the HIIT workouts were so different for me, and it made me like strong in all the weirdest places because it was so much like body weight. Like I did feel like I got really like just broad, and I don't know, my legs got big. Like it was really crazy. But at the same time, that was just my outlet, you know, that was my self-care at the time. So it still made me that happy, you know, it made me feel satisfied in that way. Like I did something for myself. Yeah. And then I could always eat whatever I wanted, you know.
Work out to pig out. And Rafi's so funny because he's like, no, I watch what I eat. You know, why are you going to do all this hard work? Let's call him out now. He's like, why are you going to work hard and then sabotage yourself? In his defense.
He was talking about when he was going to the UFC gym with you for those few years, I think it was. At that time, he said he was
right at that time, when he was very serious about it. So we'll give it to him.
He lost a ton of weight. I'll give him that. That was when we weren't married. You know, I wasn't his chef. He was cooking, or he wasn't really cooking. He was just eating like
healthier,
really bland, healthy meals. He doesn't really cook a lot, so I think it was just like easy to just get like really healthy things, you know, like lettuce and chicken and just
wrap that up.
You know,
and you're done.
I used to be able to eat like that too. You know?
I know when Clenny has to like go away for training, he eats so so bland, so healthy. Like, but why does
I don't know how it doesn't phase you guys though. I'm like, but after you've had something delicious, I just can't.
I know. Okay, so so diet is the biggest struggle for you?
Oh, for sure. I think what really happened.
I don't think we've interviewed a person yet that has not said diet is their biggest struggle. Sorry, go on. Rafi said what?
Well, I think motherhood puts a whole nother struggle into it, but
I want to hear about that also.
With diet, I've told Rafi, and I think I've said this to my parents as well. I feel like because I was so strict for 3 years, that it like sucked all the self-discipline out of me. And now I have none.
You didn't
like
stretch
now
it out.
If you tell me like I was just like my whole life of self-discipline was spent.
Was just for that.
Do you look back and are you like, how did I do that?
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
For sure. Like
for the short time that I ate healthy, I was like, how did I do that? Who was that person? I need to get her back.
Yeah.
Where'd she
crazy,
go?
You know, like the meal prep. I remember like I would spend all Sunday meal prepping. I had everything like
before children.
Like,
also.
Oh yeah. Before marriage, before children.
Right.
Before life.
You could, before you had to really take care of all these other people. So
yes, like
what do
you do?
It's now, like how was it transferring into being a mom and motherhood? You got to now figure that out. And you and Rafi's schedules, we heard, were like, you guys had to figure it out with the work because he works funny hours, you have hours. So how the heck was that for you?
When we first got married, I would we didn't see each other a lot. Not that we do now, but his hours were a lot more crazy. But I used to cook. I would make like one thing for me, and then I would make his food. So I was like, I'm not going to eat what you eat. Like, I don't want, like, if you want to eat healthy, fine, but I'm not doing it.
Right.
So funny.
I'm like you guys, I'm very determined to like just live my best life. I gave 3 years of my life to this, you know? And of course now I'm like, I try to find a balance. Okay. Like, you know, I'm not like 21 anymore. I have to really pace myself on this living my best life thing. But after we had my son, it gets so much harder. Just having time and energy and a budget. That was a whole thing too, right? Adulting is buying your own groceries.
Right. I want to eat
That's a
healthy,
whole
but why
nother-
does it cost $1 billion?
Yes. So I think that was another thing, like figuring out what can we afford? How can we do it? And just also like going back to what I knew from my training, because the diet part remains the same, you know, maybe not as extreme. I don't need to measure out my food, but what I ate, I know what's good for me and what's not. And I know, you know, what I should do and what I shouldn't. You know, French fries are a choice that I make very often. That's just the reality. But, you know, then I also know that there's broccoli and all these other things that you should do. But I think the biggest struggle with his schedule was with his job was figuring out what can I make that maybe doesn't need to be heated up or can be eaten really quickly or on the go. You know, there was that, trying to figure out what works. And I think at some point I really had to let that go. I was like, I don't know, here's the leftovers. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, go buy Subway. I don't know.
That's like, oh, we should mention, for those that haven't heard, Rafi is a policeman. He's a cop. So that's why he has these weird hours. Just in case you guys haven't listened to Rafi's interview, he is
just in
a
case
cop.
you're wondering what job has weird hours.
I know. He's like, what is he doing?
Microwave.
Yeah, no microwave.
If you haven't listened to that episode, go to
and Rafi has big biceps.
/Rafi.
He has big biceps.
Big biceps.
He wears a medium. No, I'm just kidding.
That's exactly what he said.
He said he was upset because they don't have.
They didn't have his uniform. Didn't have medium.
And
yeah,
I can't with him.
Yeah.
But anyways, to wrap up motherhood cooking.
Yeah, I want to hear about. And you're working out.
The biggest struggle, I guess, going into motherhood was now that my son, you know, once he started eating solids, it was then, you know, I'm home alone with him 5 nights a week for the most part. My husband's only off. He works night shift. He's only off, you know.
Right now, even now?
6 days. Yeah, this has been for years. Can't keep track. But when I was pregnant, he was on night shift already. So he's still on night shift. So dinner, you know, after work, I pick up my son from daycare, and then I have dinner duty and night duty and all of that. And so once he started eating solids, I've learned that babies really eat a lot of carbs because those are easy to chew, right? Like pastas and breads and that. And so it was like, I don't want to make him something, then make me something, then make my husband something. So then I started eating what I was making for him, which isn't always the best.
We don't burn it off the same
every night. Right? Like babies just run in circles all day. So I think for me, it's been hard to find a balance of that. And, you know, it's obviously gotten easier as he's gotten older. Now he's 2.5. So it's a lot easier. He can eat whatever I make for the most part. Like he's, you know, a lot easier to feed now. And so I've just had to get better at meal planning and finding a balance in our week. You know, maybe one day we are going to have baked chicken, and then another day we're going to have spaghetti, and another day we're going to have, you know, something else. So it's just finding that balance, and then trying to figure out the days I'm going to make something bigger. So I make sure it's, you know, a work day for Rafi. I'm going to have leftovers and all of that. And I think also finding a balance with each other. Like we finally had to make an agreement. Like, listen, even if you order pizza on your night off, it's your turn. Like, don't even ask me what's for dinner. It's not my turn.
It's called
I'm
Pizza
so
Hut.
exhausted. I'm like, I don't even care if you buy it. I just don't want to think about it, you know? So that's been probably the hardest thing, is like, what can my whole family eat and still be good for me?
That is like
finding that
the
balance.
mom struggle. Every
for sure.
day. I talk about this with my other mom friends, and it's just like, what are we going to feed the kids? What are we going to make for dinner? What are we going to make for lunch? What's for breakfast? What's a snack?
I did it for a day. It's hard.
One day.
But it is. And I'm sure any mom listening can agree that it's like, because you want to give your kid healthy stuff. But you can't always do that. So for me personally, maybe some moms are out there and they can, and they cream their own spinach and everything, and they milk their own almonds. I'm super happy for them.
I know someone who does that, though.
I'm so happy for them, and super extra props to you. I don't milk almonds yet. I may never milk almonds.
I will never milk an almond. I
may never do that. It sounds fun, but I haven't. However, but it's a real struggle to try to.
Oh, for sure.
Because you got to shop also for all this food. And then you got to prep it.
Budgeting,
you got to make it. You got to clean it.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot to consider. So I think it's just, for me, I'm a planner, I'm an organizer. So I think it's really just getting ahead of it. That helps me to stay a little more sane. You know, make a schedule.
Yeah.
And that's how my mom has always taught me that, you know, she's like, how do you think I did it with 4 kids? Because my dad was a police officer too.
Right.
I don't know if you knew that.
That's right.
Yes, we do.
So my mom did this with 4. She has no sympathy for me. She's like, with 4 kids. Like, I'm at their house. They live 2 minutes away.
You what?
I moved 2 minutes away from my mom. I bought a house 2 minutes away. Like, I'm not even kidding.
You are a smart lady.
Like, this is like, I knew Jesus loved me, but when
Son,
I bought a house
go to
2
grandma's
minutes away,
house. What did grandma make for dinner? Go find out. Bring some home for mommy.
Yes. No, my mom and dad have been my saving grace since becoming a mom, for sure, because you know, Rafi's not around a lot and they're there. Like, I can go there. I'm probably there every other night, to be honest. I think last week I was there every day because my son had a cold, so they were his daycare.
Oh wow.
So we were there every day, and I came home on Saturday. I told Rafi, I said, you know what, Julian hasn't showered here all week. He's been bathing at my parents' house, and when we come home, we just go, he thinks he just sleeps here, I think. But they've been my saving grace because, you know, and they, you know, they're good. They cook all their meals with salad with every meal, and they're very good at being well balanced. But my mom's always told me, she's like, I survived with 4 kids because I had a schedule. I had a plan. Yeah. You know, every week she had her meal plan. She shopped accordingly. She had you know, she would cook like spaghetti sauce and then freeze it, chili, freeze it, that kind of stuff. So she's taught me a lot of good things. But
mom tips.
Really
I love the mom
sympathy
tips
from the moms. She's like, do you know how long your father did this? Like, I'm like, but mom, I have you. She's like, I didn't have my mom, so. I'm like, but I have you. That's
Mom,
always
here's
the
the thing.
Like, nobody helped us. Your grandma lived far away. I'm like,
but you live 2 minutes away, Mom.
So what are your workouts? So diet is a struggle.
But you're figuring it out.
You're doing it well. It sounds like
you're
doing it well for the family. What are your workouts now?
There are a lot of like bicep curls of like food to mouth.
Okay.
No, I copy Rafi.
That's my kind of workout.
So are you still doing the HIIT workouts, or what are you doing now?
I stopped doing the HIIT when I went back to the office. So in June, they reopened our offices. So I went back to the gym and I started doing, I actually really like the Sweat app. I don't know if you heard of that. It's Kayla. I'm trying to think of her last name now, but there's another girl that I like. Of course, I can't remember her name now that we're doing this. I think her name is Kelsey. She's one of the trainers on this Sweat app. It's like $20 a month, and they give you all these workouts. And I kind of just like having like a set thing. I know I could probably make up a workout if I really wanted to, but I don't want to add to my life. Right. Like, I don't want to add to my stress.
Yes. Yeah. Why add more?
Yeah. I was like, I'm not going to sit down and figure out my whole week and what I want to work on. So I'm like, no, just tell me how many reps and what to do. And
you watch. It's like you watch a video.
So you just click whatever you want to work out for the day. So you can do a calendar if you want. Like, it'll tell you legs, cardio, recovery, stretching, abs, chest, shoulders.
They'll
like,
give you a program.
They have the week planned out, and then you can kind of choose what order you want to go in. So I love that app because it's easy for me. I also have a lot of my old workouts saved from Shane, or Rafi has a lot of stuff. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to do chest today. What should I do?
Yeah.
I just don't like to think about it anymore. No. So to me, as long as I'm moving, as long as I'm doing something, and like I said, I have the head knowledge. I just don't always want to put it to use. So
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But I was going back to gym doing that. I stopped doing the HIIT because I was like, I'm telling you, I got like buff in all the weird places. So I was like, I got to get back down to I almost wanted to not work out because I was like, then I'll just drop everything and then start back.
Start over.
Like, I don't know.
Let's wipe this clean.
Yeah, my quads got really big. My shoulders from the push-ups every day. Like, my shirts didn't fit. I was like, what's happening to me?
I think that's
but
a
I got
really good
at
point
push-ups.
That you're making, is that you have to know what your goal is.
Yeah.
And the kind of workout that's going to support that goal.
Right.
Because if your goal is to bulk up, then do this certain kind of workout. But if your goal is to be toned, you have to do something different. So I think that's a really good point.
That is
do your research, find out, or ask someone for help.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. And I've had to learn the difference between being like strong and buff or strong and lean. Because I was always like, the heavier I go, the cooler I am. Like, I
love it. How much have you benched? What's your bench?
Oh gosh, I don't
your
know.
record.
My record.
Have
I
you
probably
benched
got up
Rafi?
to 2 plates, but I don't remember for sure.
Wow.
I used to be able to leg press a lot.
Yep.
I am so much stronger in my legs than my arms.
Mhm.
I have like little baby T-Rex arms,
Oh my gosh,
but I
you're
have
so
like
funny.
She
really
punches
strong
hard.
legs. I can punch hard.
Well, you know, adrenaline will do that to you.
That crazy comes out, but no.
We're not allowed to talk about that. It's a family show.
We talked about this last night. We got it all out of our system.
She punches hard, I know. No, just kidding.
But sorry, I cut you off. So you're talking about what you do now.
Yeah, I think I just had to learn the difference. You know, it's not about how much weight I can lift. Like that was, I really used to get stuck on that for real. Like I was like, put me in a gym with a guy and I will go so hard because I'm
you're a little competitive. Yes.
Yeah.
And so is Rafi.
Even when I trained
you both together.
Okay, no, but the Torreses will take it
plural.
Like level. Oh yeah, the whole family. Like you'll cry. Like I don't
Monopoly.
I don't like those games.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, thank you. Game night? No, I'm good.
I'm like, this is a game. Do you know what a game is? It's not supposed to be mean.
That's the
and you're not supposed to take all my property.
Wild.
We haven't played Monopoly in like 9 years because
you're still healing from the trauma.
Another couple, we were playing with a couple, and I was like, me and the wife were like, what in the world? This is supposed to be fun.
I was trying to make
deals.
deals.
I want you both gone. Both of you.
You're supposed to make deals.
Me and her are going to finish the game and you guys are out.
Come on. No.
Yeah, it was.
Rafi and his family get like that, like really intense. They've gotten better now. I think we've calmed down a little bit. We can play games a little more civilly, but I'm like, you guys know we're like friends after this, right? And that was the thing. They could laugh it off and then I'd be like crying in the corner because I'm like, did you hear what they said? And they're like, yeah, whatever, you know, and I'm like, no one talks to me like this, you know? But yeah, so I'm competitive, not as competitive as him.
I got you.
But,
okay.
you know, in the gym, I was like, I think it was having brothers. Like I was like, I'm
absolutely.
Always, don't tell me a guy is better than me. Like, people know that I'm like, people have met me and they're like, do you have brothers? I'm like,
yes, I
come
do.
for me, bro. Like I have brothers and I
come at me, bro.
yeah, come at me, you know? So
which is even better that you're a beauty queen and don't be fooled by the crown. She's a titta through and through.
All through and through. My mom's so embarrassed of it. I'm so sorry, Mom. But you know, so I think that was the thing. Like even after these HIIT workouts, it's just a learning process for me always. Like, okay, I need to go back to high reps, less weight, and just pushing myself to get strong, but in a leaner way, and really figuring out what that looked like for me. I've been back to working at home for a couple months now. I actually haven't worked out in a while. I'm
same here.
Got pregnant. I'm trying to think of a better way to say that. It just came out really
just dropped the bomb.
So
I'm pregnant.
This is so excited. Which adds a whole nother twist to how you're working out and how you're eating.
Yeah,
it's different when you're pregnant.
That was, I think, I was really frustrated because with my first pregnancy, I got really, really sick. So I stopped working out and then I never got back into it my whole pregnancy. And I really felt that in my body. You know, I had really bad sciatic pain, really bad back pain. I had
That's
all
not
kinds
fun.
of
That
issues.
hurts. Yeah.
No, it's so rough. And so with this one, I was like, you know, I'm going to be so fit so that when I get pregnant, like I'm just going to stay healthy my whole pregnancy. And then I got really sick and I was like,
she means like morning sickness, like, you know, not like a
all day sickness,
but like, you know, the changing hormones make you feel nauseous, just
pregnancy sickness
all day long.
Yeah. So lots of nausea, lots of throwing up and just being really sick for it's been months now because I'm still not feeling that great. But so it's been hard. And so for that, you know, as I would feel better, it was just about, okay, let me just go for a walk today. Let me just get out of bed today.
With where you're
and so for me, like at this moment, working out is not really working out, but more the mentality of being fit is just pushing myself. You know, just get out of bed and do something, you know, whether it's going to the park with my son. Because for me, that's still like exhausting for me right now. Just taking him for a walk or cleaning up the house, like just doing stuff, because for over a month I couldn't do anything.
Right.
So I'm slowly working my way back, and I know once I feel better, because mentally I've already decided like that's what I want for this pregnancy.
That's good. That's like 90% of the battle.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, for sure. Working out is like 100% mental. I always say that. I'm like, I always tell Rafi, I'm like, I quit in my head like so long ago though.
I know. I quit before I even start, and that's something I'm endeavoring to change, because someone says running and I'm like, I already want to throw up. As soon as I think of running, I'm like, can't, nope.
So in your opinion, how do we overcome that? How do we stay mentally strong and have the right mindset?
I mean, one thing for me obviously is my faith, for sure. Like that's my greatest foundation of life, is having a strong faith background, a strong spiritual background. And I think that's where a lot of my perseverance comes from, is really trusting God in a lot of ways. But also I think it is coming down to having a good support system. My mom's always said it takes a village.
It's true.
Yeah, it's like you need a good village. My husband's super supportive. Like he's good. Always like, you want new shoes? You're gonna work out? I'll get you new shoes. Whatever. But I really just think it's an excuse, because then he feels better that he works out all the time. But but it's really having that support, just having people who are in your corner, who are going to push you, who believe in you, who support you. Shane's still in my life. Shane's still someone I let speak into my life.
I want to meet this guy.
Time.
I want to interview him now.
Right?
Yes, introduce us.
Be like, so tell us all the days she cried. We want to know.
It'll be all about you, like, the whole interview.
Every day. My parents used to be like, he doesn't get paid enough to train you.
He should come and try to work you and I out together at the same time.
No, you don't want to. I don't want to.
He'll make me throw up. You don't want, oh yeah, I know him right now.
No, he will make you throw up 100%.
Okay.
Like I promise you he will. But I think just having the support is important. But
it is.
Yeah, and then just deciding for yourself. I think the biggest thing was me making a decision. Is this what I want? Is this who I want to be? Is this what I want for my life? Does it make me feel better? Does it make me happy? And I know it does. I just had this conversation with my husband the other day. Like, I know it's the one thing I do for myself, especially after becoming a mom. And so it's really about, is it a priority or not? Should I stay up late? Should I wake up early?
Yeah.
It's hard, like with my son.
Is it sleep or working out?
I was like,
which one should I do? Yeah. Laundry or workout?
Yeah, exactly. So it's hard because I spend a lot of my time staying up late because I'm home at night with him. So I put him to sleep, and then I'm like, okay, now I got to decompress for my day. I got to clean up the kitchen. I got to clean up the house, get ready for tomorrow. So it was really hard. And I think that I was so thankful for my lunch breaks at work with the gym, because, and even for me, like I wouldn't go to lunch half the time because I was just busy, or I'd get in my head and just keep going. So that helped me like force myself, like, no, I'm working out today, because, once you start, you're like, I don't want to be sore next week. I want to just keep going. When you can't walk, you're like, it's okay, I'm going to keep going. I don't want to relive this in 3 months. So keep going.
Right,
Don't break the cycle.
Yes.
That's important.
So I think it's just making a choice. I had to make a choice. Is this what I want for myself? So it looks different than Miss Hawaii, but it helped me mentally prepare. Yeah,
but you're still going. I love that. One last thing before we get into
that was kind of her takeaway.
Like, who or what inspires you to be fit and healthy?
Man, I don't know if I can really like pinpoint a person. Shane, obviously I've talked about him a lot. He's someone that really helped me through, I would say, like at that age too, like 21, your early 20s, you're really figuring out who you are, what you're going to do in life, all of that. But I really think I'm so inspired and motivated by people who just make it happen.
I know, you meet people too.
Like, I want to be like you. People in life. You meet people in life, and just going to the gym. Like, I remember when I was training for Miss Hawaii, there was this firefighter. She was so pregnant, and she'd be on the Stairmaster jamming every day.
Gosh.
And I'm like, not pregnant, young, supposed to be fit.
Crying on the floor.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like hanging on for dear life. And like one of Shade's rules was you can't use the railings, like no touching, because then you're supporting yourself. I'm like, I would like had to figure out all these different ways to do my hand, like hold a towel, hold a book, like what do I do with my hands, you know?
Hold on to the pregnant lady.
Yeah.
Help
I would just
me.
watch her. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I think I've just met a lot of great people in my life. And I just even going to the gym and seeing people just overcome something. And that's really such an inspiration in itself. Like you just get motivated and inspired. People who they just do it. You know, there are moms who do it.
People in general who just get it done. They don't make excuses and they just do it. So whoever falls under that category is an inspiration.
Like someone who played volleyball.
You sound like that person.
And did pageants.
No, I've really been, you're so funny. I've been fortunate enough to know a lot of people and meet a lot of people in that. You know, Miss Hawaii opened a lot of doors for me to meet a very broad group of people in my life and working at 24. So I know fitness people. There's another woman, Alana, who was a trainer there too. She just opened her own gym.
Wow.
Out of her husband and her changed her garage into a home gym.
That's awesome.
And she started doing personal training. And I'm like, you go, girl. Like, it's so awesome, you know, like they just, and she's a mom and she just makes it happen, you know, they just get it done. And so it's just, it's Moms inspiring, I think, when you just see people overcome their circumstances. Right. And that's really, I think, what drives me. And like I said, I think that all stems from having faith too. Just your circumstances don't determine the rest of your life. You know, they're just things that are going to change. So keep doing what you need to do to get to where you want to be, because life is going to happen no matter what.
Brittni.
So
we will keep doing it.
I know I think you shared a lot of great information and a lot of great takeaways.
You have definitely motivated and inspired us and
Absolutely.
Many that
We're
will be listening.
Thank you.
But before we let you go, we are going to do
the lightning round.
Oh gosh. I don't want to.
Shanna's going to ask you some questions.
This is the ending of the interview, and we just put together random questions.
Oh gosh, and it's like weird. Like, am I going to not know the answer?
They are all really hard algebra questions. And I wouldn't even know how to ask in algebra. Physiology? Yeah.
This is your pop quiz. No.
The fibula?
They may or may not have anything to do with fitness. It's just random questions we put
probably
together.
Have nothing to do,
and
Shanna.
And it's just answer as quick as you can. Rafi was pretty quick.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh man.
So the first question I asked Rafi was, whose cooking does he prefer? Mom's cooking or wife's cooking? So I won't tell you what his answer is. You got to watch the episode.
I feel like I know what his answer would be, but
I'm going to ask you this question: Dad's cooking or husband's cooking?
Oh, my dad. Rafi doesn't cook.
That was an
I
easy
take that
one.
back. I'm sorry, Rafi.
Fast.
He's learning. But my dad cooks
good
all the
job,
time.
Rafi.
So
Yeah.
that's
okay. You have 3 hours all to yourself. What do you do? Quick. Go.
Oh, sleep?
Yeah.
Done.
That's such a mom answer.
It is.
Sleep.
What workout day do you absolutely dread doing?
Shoulders.
Oh, like the dips.
I bet that's
stuff?
Rafi's favorite.
Like,
I don't like any
presses?
like just like shoulder warm-ups, like keeping your arms raised for extended period of time. Like the burn is just unnecessary. I'm actually a fan of leg day, to be honest. Not the throwing up, but I like leg day.
Yeah.
I also like that.
It's a good challenge.
I shouldn't say like leg day. I don't know if I've ever had leg day. I know I've done
that's
leg
a boss
workouts.
answer right there.
Yeah.
I like leg day because it's a challenge.
I know. This chick's tough, everybody. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
What is your go-to cheat meal?
French fries. Is that a meal?
Okay, so that's I had a feeling you were going to say that. So, which restaurant / fast food has the very best fries, in your opinion?
Ooh, that's hard. Let me tell you. I mean, obviously McDonald's hands down for fast food, but here's the beauty in going to like a restaurant or even like a plate lunch place. You can tell them to make it extra crispy. And that's a game changer because when you can customize it, like I love crispy, like almost burnt fries.
Do you guys hear the passion in her voice as she's talking about French fries? I think this is the most. No, there's like a twinkle in her eye. She's like filling up with joy in life.
Pageant life to volleyball to fitness.
Her child, Raffy, but now French fries. She's like, let me talk about this.
That was a pro hack.
So, any restaurant in particular? Did you say? Just anyone that you can special
This is because we want to go to this restaurant, by the way.
No, do you know, Cool Ina used to have the best, but they closed. The shoestring fries.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So good. Anywhere that has, you know what? Zippies. I love Zippy's fries.
Oh, yeah, Zippy's fries.
They're good.
Zippy's.
Not in takeout, though, because they get soggy in person.
Not the ones that come in the cup.
But if you get takeout, open the container so it doesn't get soggy.
Do you hear all these tips?
Yes.
She is a French fry connoisseur.
My husband knows this. If he gets takeout, open it up so it doesn't get soggy.
So French fries don't make it home when I get them. Just most of the time. If Shannon lets me.
And I have to specifically say, if you touch my French fry, don't you eat my fries on the way home.
That's I don't know. My rule is French fries get eaten right away.
But not mine.
But not hers, of course not.
Okay, favorite Chris. Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt, Chris Evans.
Oh, Chris Evans.
Yeah.
What song has to be on your workout playlist?
That's so hard. I don't have a fast answer for that. I will say, in a very weird way, sometimes worship music really amps me up.
Awesome.
So like a really good like elevation worship song or something, like it really get me going.
It gets you through the shoulders. Okay.
I live for some worship music. Like if it's a really like soul-filled song, it'll really get me going.
Yeah.
It gets you going. Okay. If you were a Friends character, who would you be?
Ooh, Rachel.
Aha.
Just because I love her.
Just because I love her.
I definitely don't want to be Phoebe.
I don't think you are.
Or Monica.
Phoebe.
So I gotta be Rachel.
Yeah.
Or Joey.
I was gonna say, or the guys. Which guy? You could be Joey and Rachel combined.
You could have your Thanksgiving
Joey loves
pants.
food.
He does. This is true.
I'm convinced that maternity pants are Thanksgiving pants, actually.
Yes.
And I don't know why we don't wear them, regardless of if you're pregnant or not.
That's a good idea.
Or
I should pull mine out.
Band.
Yeah. Men should have Thanksgiving pants.
Yep.
We should invent that.
Yeah, we should. They just come with like a big saggy pouch in the front that will fill up through the day with their stuff. Anyway. Okay, last question. Will you come back on our show and bring Rafi, and then we can do a couples interview?
I mean...
Okay, will you come back if you don't bring Rafi?
Totally, I'd come back with him. I think it'd be so fun because then we can call him out on like, do you eat healthy all the time? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You have to be nice. He's always nice about me to other people. So
he was very nice. Yes,
he was.
He was very nice. I think so.
Yes.
I can't remember him not being.
He's always nice.
He knows that's why. He's like, if this gets back to her, you should.
Do you have any parting words of advice, and want you to plug anything that you want to plug?
Plug French fries. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It's okay to eat them and still be fit, No, I think, I guess we really just touch on it, but just to keep going, I think it's really about having a mentality of not giving up no matter what. I mean, it's funny to see your guys' reaction to my life and my journey. I think no one's really sat down and like gone through the whole thing with me before. I guess it is a lot more than I realized, but I think the whole thing, it was just like this no quit attitude,
right?
No matter how hard it got, and that's really the way I was raised growing up.
That's good. I like that. You were it was instilled in you.
Finish what you started,
right? Yeah.
And having brothers, it gave me a very strong personality and a strong mindset. Probably,
and
not
it's
always
never
for the
too
best,
late
but...
to get that mindset of don't quit.
No,
it's never too late.
And I think I think that's the thing, is that even for me, I've fallen off the bandwagon so many times, but it's really about just getting back up and doing it again.
Yeah.
You know, like I've stopped working out so many times, I've stopped eating good so many times, and it's just making a decision one day and enough is enough. Like, I think I've always had this mindset too, like, don't wait for Monday. Like, what do you wait? You know, I don't understand that. Like, everything starts on a Monday. Nobody even likes Mondays. Just start today.
He's a Monday guy.
Are you a Monday guy?
I am.
Start today. It's Monday. Oh, it is a Monday. Dang it. No, what is today?
It's Monday.
Tuesday.
Oh, it is.
It's
Monday. Oh, it's Monday. I don't even know.
I didn't even know what day it was either.
Yes.
Don't start today, then start tomorrow. It's Tuesday.
we
I
looked
think
it up.
that's the thing. Yeah, just not quitting and not giving up, and just having a spirit of perseverance, you know. And if you're having a hard time, find the right people. You know, I've just been really fortunate to have the right people in my life. I've been really blessed. So that's another thing. Just surrounding yourself with the right people.
Don't quit. Get around the right people and just do it. No, you did great. And I'm so thankful that you took time out of your quite full schedule to interview us. We had a lot of fun. And I think
thank you guys.
Everyone listening is going to be very inspired to hear from a full-time mom, full-time wife, full-time worker, you know, and gonna be mom of 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so when this airs, when this airs, you'll be how many months?
Like 6 months, 7 months.
6 or 7 months. Oh my gosh, you're gonna be so fast. Okay.
I know.
So surprise everybody. You're not knowing this yet, but you will.
Well, thank you, Brittni.
Yes, thanks, Brittni.
You guys.
Really enjoyed having you.
It's been really fun. You did motivate and inspire.
Yes, you did. On how to get fit.
See, I'm a go-getter. If you's a go-getter, why don't you